everyone, it's Sierra. I'm back again with a new video. Thank you so much for bearing with me for the time apart from my last video. My senior year started at Chapman University. Oh my gosh, senior year. That is crazy. I honestly feel like I just blinked and I ended up here. But I'm back with my senior year, and so I wanted to do a little advice video on senior thoughts to an incoming freshman. And this video is going to be a little more serious than my last few videos I've done. If you've watched my previous videos, you know I like to do more of a parody style, a silly thing. But for me, college is serious, and there are so many fun moments, and it's definitely been the most fun I've had in my entire life. But especially when you're starting out, there are some serious things to talk about. And for me, my freshman experience for me during orientation week was actually really difficult. So I'm kind of doing what I wish I could do if I was able to talk to freshman Sierra, if I was able to have an out-of-body experience and go back and knowing what I've learned throughout my couple years here and the so much wisdom that I've gained in growing into a senior and the things that I've learned. I wish that I could go back and tell those to my freshman self in order to give myself a more positive experience, but you know, we don't get that chance in life. We aren't able to go back in time, at least not yet. I don't think time travel is an option. And if any of you out there are going to be freshmen in college or already have started your freshman year in college, I hope that you can use some of these little bits of wisdom for yourself. And I also hope that if you're a sophomore in college, or maybe even a junior in college, or even if you're a senior like me and you find some struggles along the way, that you might be able to get something from this video that might help you. So my first thing is it goes back to orientation week. And in orientation week, I was a mess, an absolute mess when I left home. I'm from out of state because I'm from Portland, Oregon. And so going to California, away from my parents, away from my brother, my pets, my high school friends, I didn't come to college with any of my high school friends. So I was alone. I was a fish out of water. And for some people, that might seem like the absolute best thing in the world. But for me, I was a literal mess. Every single day of orientation, I cried. There was one time in Bed Bath & Beyond where I had an absolute nuclear meltdown in the parking lot of Bed Bath & Beyond that was triggered by what kind of pillowcases I should get for my dorm room, because I wasn't sure if too patterned would make people judge me or if not patterned enough would make people think that I'm boring. But anyway, Bed Bath & Beyond aside, I was so upset like the whole time because the change was so hard for me. And one thing that I thought as a freshman was that I was alone. I thought that I was the only person in like the entire orientation universe who was miserable. I thought that I was the only person who was sad to be leaving home, or that I was the only person who wasn't ecstatic for all of the orientation week events. I literally remember in one of my orientation week events that I couldn't open my mouth. They were doing a get to know you thing, and I couldn't open my mouth to speak because I was afraid that if I did, I would cry, because my voice kept getting all choked up and stopped up because I was that nervous. So I hope that you aren't as scared and nervous as I was, but if you are, just know that you are not alone. Because as I got older, and I talked to some other people that went through orientation, and I met some new friends, and I talked to some orientation leaders that were friends of mine, there were so many other people that were like me, that were all smiley and perky to their friends, but then they went behind closed doors and they called their moms and dads and just cried, or had panic attacks, or had a complete freak out about making friends. So you are not alone. And this doesn't just go for being sad. If you are so happy and you're not feeling sad, you're not alone in that either. It's totally okay to feel what you're feeling. If you are feeling upset, if you are feeling scared, if you are feeling excited, if you are feeling you are on top of the world and you don't miss your parents at all, that's all normal. The biggest thing that I want to stress is that there is no one way you should feel about going to college. It's going to be a mix, and there's always going to be someone out there who is happier than you, sadder than you, more excited than you, more scared than you, and that there is no right way you should be feeling. And so that is the biggest advice I can give you. And piggybacking off of that is to be kind to yourself. Because part of me feeling so scared and sad was that I started judging what I was feeling, and I started being like, Sierra, you should be excited. This is college. This is the best 4 years of your life. Why aren't you more excited? You stupid. You should be more excited. What's wrong with you? And all of that negativity was really bad for me, and it was bad for my soul, and it brought me down even further. So be kind to yourself and tell yourself that it is okay to feel what you're feeling, because if you can't be kind to yourself, then there's no way you're going to be able to be kind to others. Because you have to put yourself first, and you have to give love and kindness to yourself first. And if you have that foundation of kindness towards yourself, then you'll be able to give that kindness to others. It's reciprocal action. So that's really important. And that is one of the lessons that I didn't really learn until my junior year. And maybe it's not something that you can learn by watching a YouTube video. Maybe it's something you have to learn from going within and learning those things for yourself throughout your college career. But if you can glean a little bit of wisdom from this and start out by just being kind to yourself and telling yourself that it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling, then hopefully that'll do just a little bit of good. The next thing, more academic related, that I recommend for college is to not overwhelm yourself too much with classes, because no matter if you went to a super rigorous academic high school or a more average laid-back high school, whichever one it was, college classes will be different. Difficulty level aside, they're different. Some classes won't take attendance in college, and for other classes, the only way you might be graded is that you have one huge project that's due on the last day of class, and it's up to you to budget your time for that project, and there's no deadlines in between. I've had a class like that, and I left everything until like the last week, and it was the most miserable week of my life. Procrastination, that's another thing I'll get to. But as far as classes go, they're very different, and so your first semester of college, I really recommend not putting too much on yourself. Language classes are going to have a lot of work. I know that physics classes, bio classes have a lab usually, and that'll take a whole separate amount of time. I know my little is a bio major, and she has a 4-hour lab for each bio class that she has to take, so that's a huge amount of time. I know for me in my acting classes, like with Meisner, you have to practice outside of class, so there's a lot of things that might have extra time commitments that you weren't necessarily prepared for. So don't take too many classes your first semester. You will have all of college to take more classes, and that semester you really want to kind of feel out what's your style. Where do you learn best? Do you learn best in the library? Do you learn best studying in your dorm? Do you study best with others or by yourself, or maybe with one other friend? So it's really a semester to explore what works for you, and so you don't want to have to put on too much on your plate in order to figure that out. And if after one semester you've discovered that you've got a total handle on this, then add more classes your second semester. But I definitely would recommend starting small. So my next thing is about procrastination. I am the world's worst procrastinator. Oh my gosh, if there was an Olympic medal for procrastination, I would probably have a whole bunch of golds lined up behind me on the wall. Like I said, with that one time that I left the huge final project till like the last week, and I was up till like 3 a.m. every night finishing it, I wouldn't recommend doing that. All it does is it creates a whole lot of stress, and you don't give out your best work. So I've been a procrastinator pretty much until like last semester, and I've really tried this last semester and this year to get a hold on my procrastination, and something that I've found that works really well is to not, like, say you have an essay due in a week, say it's Thursday, you have an essay due the following Thursday, is to not necessarily like tell yourself, okay, next Friday I'm going to write the whole thing out. Just be like, okay, I'm going to write the intro today. I'm going to write 2 body paragraphs tomorrow. Okay, I've got a 1-hour break between my dance lesson and my hanging out with a friend. I'm going to work on 1 paragraph in between then and get that paragraph done. Then that doesn't seem like it's such a huge daunting task. You just get a little bit done, and then you still feel good about yourself, because then the next day when you go to it, it's not like you're starting on a blank piece of paper. You've already got a little something down. So that's really helpful for me, is to like break things up into sections, and sometimes even the first thing you do can just be breaking up how you're going to work on it. And then also like getting your friends to look at things. I know I love having my friends peer read my essays. My mom, God bless my mom, she still will peer read things for me. I'll send her an essay and I'll be like, hey mom, can you check this for spelling? Or hey mom, can you blah, blah, blah. You know, if I have something else that's more technical related, I'll contact my dad. So don't be afraid to use your parents. Like, I'm 21 years old, and I still will call my mom to check my homework sometimes, and there is no shame in that whatsoever. Greek life, okay. So I definitely recommend rushing. And I know I am a little bit biased because I am in a sorority, but I wasn't sure that I was going to be in a sorority when I went to Chapman. I wasn't sure I was going to love the Greek life feel. I knew I was a theater major, and a lot of the people in theater aren't in Greek life, so I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. But I definitely recommend rushing, even if you don't want to join a sorority. Why? And the reason is because you meet so many people during rush. You'll make friends, and you'll also see just a little bit of how the Greek system works. And maybe if you don't want to rush or join a sorority or fraternity as a freshman, maybe you'll see a little bit about each of the houses, that it'll give you some time a year to like look through like what you like and what you don't like, and maybe you want to rush again as a sophomore. You never know if you're going to find that perfect sorority for you, that just all the girls are amazing, or the perfect fraternity that fits what you want to do for the guys who are watching, or if you're just going to not join a house and meet your best friend. So I definitely recommend rushing and going through the process 100%. The same goes for clubs or sports teams. Just put yourself out there, go to the involvement fair and get involved. I know the people who said that they had the best freshman year were the ones who were involved, and the ones who felt like they weren't meeting people or didn't have enough friends are the people who weren't involved. So look and see what clubs there are, because you never know. Maybe there's a photography club. There might be a language club. I know we have a lot of religious clubs. Like there's Christians on campus. There's Hillel for Jewish students. There's a lot of other things. There's a meditation club for Buddhists. There's prayer services. There's also, I know there's a health and fitness club. There's workout clubs. There's club volleyball, intramural volleyball. Like I'm just listing a few of the million things that Chapman offers. And if Chapman offers that many things, I guarantee you a public university offers probably 3 times as much. So just go to your involvement fair, get involved, find other people like you, and find people that are different than you. And just put yourself out there, because you never know if you're going to find a new amazing passion or just a whole bunch of amazing friends. So I think that that's all I have time for, because I'm running out of space on my camera. So I need to wrap up this video, but I hope that this is a few little bits of advice that you can use for your freshman year or sophomore, junior, senior year, or if you're still in high school and you're watching this video, then you can use this advice to advance you for the future when you get to college. Comment down below what piece of advice that you found was helpful, or if you'd like to see more advice videos. I know it might be kind of boring just to sit here and listen to me talk for a while, but you can know that everything I'm saying comes 100% from the heart, because I want all of you to have the most amazing college experience. So go ahead and comment down below something that you liked about this video, and what would you like to see something with some more advice on. Maybe more college advice, sorority advice, club advice, friendship advice, relationship advice. Been there, done that, been through it all. So feel free to comment what you'd like to see more of. Go ahead and like this video and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.